Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I figured as it's the start of summer, let's make a sandcastle. So the first thing we're going to do, I've got this scene here that I've set up from a previous project that I was working on, but what we'll do instead, we're going to make the sandcastle in a separate file and then we'll import it once we've done it. So first thing we want to do is, I've already done this, I'm just going to press forwards and explain it as I go. Make a cylinder. And then we'll just start to build out the sandcastle-y type look from kind of basic cylinders. I mean, you can go as elaborate as you like with this. It's no big deal. But we'll just kind of make the cylinder. I think we used 60 rotation segments. And what we're going to do is select every other three, and then just use Command Drag to scale those bad boys up. And then select just the tops. And then we'll have our sandcastle shape. And so I'm just going to stick a little windowy type thing in this, just like that. And there's our sandcastle. So what we want to do once we've created our rudimentary basic shape is to put these into a volume builder. I'm going to regain manual control now and stick them in the volume builder. And obviously we've got our voxels there. You may be familiar with that term from the game Minecraft. So we're going to increase our voxel resolution, and our voxel size could maybe go down to a factor of like 1 centimeter. That's pretty cool. And yeah, that gives us a kind of an acceptably high level of fidelity, for sandcastle anyway. Now for our volume builder, we're just going to need to insert it into the volume mesher. And oops, no, I don't use that. And we put this volume mesher in builder, go into the mesher, and now we've got a mesh. The mesher, I'm going to allow it to have quite a high resolution of the mesh, because we'll be using displacement to create the sand effect, and that will be kind of it needs that geometry so it can create its displacement. So we're just going to copy paste this in here, scale it up a little bit, and yeah, just make that sandcastle a nice proportionate size, and that'll do us. I think that'll do us. Now, so what we're doing is apply our sand texture. I've created the sand texture down here, but I'm just going to explain how this works. It's obviously using displacement mapping, and I was going to. We don't need a curvature map there. So basically, this is just using basic displacement mapping. I've explained this in a previous tutorial, but just to quickly run through it now. There's our sand texture, which is just like a JPEG. Going into the color node, this is our sand normal map. You can go online and just type in normal map generator, then you upload your JPEG and it'll create a normal map from the color data. And that just plumbs into a displacement, which I've currently got at a scale of 2. You can adjust as you need. Just feel free to experiment. I mean, there's no hard and fast way of doing this kind of work. It's just, you just need to get stuck in and see what works. And the displacement plumbs straight into the output rather than going into the ORS standard material, just to bear that in mind. And then that's basically a little bit of displacement you got set up. So we'll just need to stick a redshift tag on here, render tag, a redshift object, and let me just reset my layout. And has that buggered something up? Oh no. Okay, we're back. And okay, we have our volume mesh in there. We have a redshift object, and our geometry needs to be clicked here. We're going to override that, and we're going to enable displacement. Now let's drag our sand texture onto the volume mesher, fire up the preview render, and see how that works. Okay, so there is our sandcastle. And I mean, I've tried to get it to reasonably closely match. It's a similar settings to the actual sand itself in this redshift tag. So, but you have to experiment around. I mean, I'll show you how this works. Ideally, what you want is, like you can see here, where the texture is, it's going a little bit funny. You can see on the edges there, whereas it's UVW map, but it's not wrapping itself around the object very well. And what I normally do to get around that, you kind of have to experiment a bit with it, but I found that just changing it to cubic just solves the issue. But we've got much finer grains of sand, so what we can do there is we can increase our UV lengths, which is like just got like 200%, and just kind of experiment. We've got a much rougher kind of sand grade there. So yeah, I mean, like if you go into your displacement options here, your displacement scale can go massive, and you'll end up with like a weird kind of strange looking thing. You need to enable your maximum displacement as well, but you can kind of, it looks a bit like a picture where one saw bone cancer. It's kind of disturbing, that actually. But yeah, no, you can kind of play with it as you see fit. You know, it's just going to kind of takes a little bit of fine tuning, a bit of tweaking, but that looks relatively sandy. So let's just reset the view, undo those views, and let that render. And there, my friends, is a sandcastle. So yeah, I hope you've found some value in this tutorial, and I very much appreciate you watching to the end. All the best with your creative journey. Don't forget to get out and enjoy the sunshine, but use sunscreen. Namaste. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.